Good morning, you're watching Newsx with me, Medha Sharan. Now, India on 22nd November joined other G20 countries in pushing ahead with a joint declaration. PM Modi delivered a speech in the first session of the summit. He presented India's perspective on global challenges to the world and urged the world to rethink the standards of the old development model. We have visuals of the Prime Minister with other leaders at the Johannesburg Summit reaffirming shared commitment to global progress and prosperity. The summit took place in the absence of US intervention and a joint declaration called for climate finance to be scaled up. My colleague Aditya Vadhavan joins me on the broadcast for this story. Aditya, what exactly are the key takeaways for India from this year's G20 summit?
Well, absolutely. Indeed, there are several, takeaways for India from this G20 summit. Prime Minister Narendra Modi had fruitful talks with the world leaders. Particularly, he met the Australian Prime Minister, and there's been a deal, signed between Canada, Australia, and India. So, indeed, there are lots of positives for India from this G20 summit. And interestingly, the next presidency of the G20 will be with India. So, indeed, we could expect a lot things in the times to come. Yes, Metha, back to you.
All right, Aditya, please do stay on with me. Now, Prime Minister Narendra Modi made a statement via his social media account X. He stated that the second session at the G20 summit in Johannesburg focused on building a resilient world in the face of disasters, climate change, and ensuring energy transitions that are just as well as robust food systems. He went on to state that India has been actively working on all these fronts, building a future that is human centric and inclusive. Now, what exactly did the PM propose at this session, Aditya?
Well, absolutely, Medha. The PM focused as to how the global south can be empowered. Medha, if you see, there have been a lot of mention regarding the global south, how the global south can move forward. And if we talk about environmental issues and the food security that he just mentioned, all in this session, Prime Minister Narendra Modi emphasized on the fact that how global south can come together, to address the global challenges that are being faced. We are
All right, we seem to have lost that connection and we will get back to it. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Narendra Modi met German Chancellor Merz, UK Prime Minister Starmer, and UN Secretary General Guterres on the sidelines of the G20 summit. Earlier on 22nd November, Prime Minister Modi proposed a creation of a G20 critical minerals circularity initiative. He says under this, focus will be on recycling urban mining, second life battery projects. My colleague Aditya Vadhavan once again joins me. All right. So now we're learning that the Prime Minister has also held a slew of bilateral meetings on the sidelines of the G20 summit, namely with the German Chancellor Friedrich Merz, as well as the UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer and the Secretary General of the United Nations Antonio Guterres. Remember, the Prime Minister has also met the Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese yesterday on the sidelines of the summit as well. He's also met the Malaysian Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim, the French President Emmanuel Macron, as well as South Korea's President Lee Jae-myung. My colleague Aditya Vadhavan now joins me on the broadcast for the story. Now, what are the outcomes of these meetings that the Prime Minister has held with various world leaders on the sidelines of the G20 summit?
Mehta, to see, these outcomes of the meetings, will definitely, it is a win-win situation for India as he has met the Brazil's president, and definitely, as far as the trade links are concerned and some of the cultural links are concerned, definitely we could see some major breakthrough as far as this is concerned. We could expect some major breakthrough, Mehta, because considering the fact that India is also will be holding the G20 presidency in the next time. So indeed, there are a lot of takeaways from this meeting, and indeed, in the times to come, we could expect some major breakthrough as far as this. There could be major, between India. We recently saw how when the Brazilian Prime Minister also had met Prime Minister Narendra Modi earlier also. So indeed, there could be very robust trade ties between the two countries, and also cultural links also could go to next level as far as the bilateral relations are concerned, and we could expect some major breakthrough as far as all this everything is concerned. Yes, Medha.
Aditya, please do stay on with me. Now, the Prime Minister Narendra